Hello, hello. Oh my gosh. All right. So today in our reinvention series, we are talking about what to do when your old life, when you no longer feel like yourself, when you know that you've outgrown who you've been. And you're seeing it in a lot of different places. So, today, what I want to do is I'm actually going to talk about what are the signs to know when you've outgrown who you've been and what to do for women in midlife, especially if you're in transition. You've had a lot of success, you've checked a lot of boxes, but you're sitting here and you're going, I'm ready for more. I know that there's more that's here for me. And I just don't know maybe exactly what it is, or I'm afraid to pivot, or is it too late for me? Have I already done enough? Have I had the success? Is it time for me to just kind of sit back and be where I am? But there's something that's been tugging at you, something that's been pulling you forward. Then I am talking to you because I always say this: midlife is the main stage. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. We want to stop romanticizing our 20s, our 30s, our teens, and looking at it as if we've had that our prime time is behind us, and instead to recognize that the best of you is ahead of you, because now you know. Now you have the wisdom. Now you have the understanding within yourself. So, the moment that you realize your old life no longer fits, there's a few things that happen that I see within my clients in Reinvention or in Limitless Academy, and a few telltale signs when you know that it is time for you to pivot, when you know that it's time for you to actually go for that dream, to do something different. First and foremost, you start to notice that you want to change something about your actual outward appearance. Maybe you're wanting to dramatically, change your hairstyle, your hair color. You're wanting to lose weight or get in the best shape of your life. You go to get dressed in your closet and nothing feels like you. You go and you're like, this doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work. That's so crazy. This was like my favorite little black dress, or this was my favorite sweatshirt. And you're just like, I want it all gone. You notice that even in your home, things don't feel like you anymore. You want to change them. You want to upgrade them. You want your walls to be white. You're noticing that you're feeling the need for a lot of space. You're wanting blank space. You're wanting to remove the noise. You're noticing you're wanting to simplify. These are all signs that you are in a state of reinvention, that you are being called to another level, that you no longer are operating as who you've been. It's just not working anymore. You'll also notice this among friends, and this is a very hard one. And I hear this often from the women in my community. They often fear, does this mean that I'm going to have to get like all new friends? Does this mean no? But what you will notice is the conversations that you once engaged in, you're just like, I don't want to gossip anymore. I don't want to talk bad about these people, or I don't want to spend my time having those conversations. You'll also notice that there are people in your life where you just don't feel good after you spend time with them anymore. And your bandwidth for being around them, maybe they're uber negative, maybe they just want to talk about people, whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be a quote unquote bad thing. It's just, it doesn't fit anymore. And you're sitting there and you're going, what's wrong with me? Like, these people, I used to love to go here on a Friday night. I used to look forward to this trip every year. You've changed and you're being called to something more. And that's the part of being a human that I know that, out of the 5 human needs, one of them is certainty, right? We love to feel certain. We want to know what's next. But and we don't like change, but the bottom line is, as a human, we're always changing. We're always evolving. We're always growing. And to think that we aren't is kind of crazy. But as a human being, your evolution, especially as women from the age 40 and up, it's dramatic. A lot changes, whether you're an empty nester, you're on another, whether you've gotten separated or divorced, or you're actually stepping into a new relationship, whether you're having children later in life, or like I said, you're empty nesting. There are a lot of transitions that are happening, not only in your external reality, but internally, hormonally, there's a different change in recognizing, oh, I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not 30 anymore. There's a different expectation on you, what you should have figured out. There's also an aspect of you that's like, I just don't care anymore. There's a whole slew of things going on. So the purpose in this video today is to not only help you to identify and go, okay, yes, and to also normalize it. It doesn't mean anything's bad. You don't need to be afraid. There's nothing, it might feel uncomfortable, but that's all change feels uncomfortable. What we want to do instead is there's 5 key points that I want to share with you that if you do these, it will serve you for the rest of your life, no matter what you're going through. One, I want you to understand that the pain and suffering that we experience is the meaning that we give to things. So if you're experiencing stress, anxiety, overwhelm, doubt, fear, right? Fear is not real. We ask yourself, what am I thinking right now in this moment? Is it ultimately true? What meaning am I giving to it? And what am I making it mean about me? And what you will find often is the most suffering that we've experienced is the meaning that we have given to things that actually hurts us. When you really break it down and distill it, you'll find out that it actually doesn't have any truth. We're just assuming it to be true, and therefore it becomes true for us, right? Law of assumption. So we want to challenge and ask ourselves, if something doesn't feel good, what am I making this mean? What am I making it mean about me? Is that ultimately true? And I'm going to take this a step further, and I want you to really own this. The only truth that exists is the one that you believe. So if the only truth that exists is the one that you believe, then, and you're the one telling yourself what's true or not, then it would make sense that you would want to tell yourself, I only want to subscribe to truths that really serve me instead of hurt me. I only want to tell myself things that feel good and true for me. Because remember, the suffering that occurs comes from the meaning that we give to things. And the only truth that exists is the one that you buy into and believe. And the only truth that is real is the one that we tell ourselves and believe to be true. So in essence, as we're shifting in life and as we're stepping into these new phases and spaces, what we actually want to do is feed a narrative and craft a narrative that's supportive, that's exciting, that speaks into the opportunity and the possibility, that speaks into it being the next and best chapter, that only good is ahead of us, that it's exciting to be in these next evolution with self, right? So the moment that you realize your old life no longer fits is the signs that I identified in the beginning. When you start to notice, I want to drastically change the way I look, the way that I'm presenting myself to the world, which means your inner reality no longer matches what you're seeing externally. 2, you're noticing that the home that you live in, the actual room, your bedroom, places, you're wanting to change them. You're wanting to clear them up. You're wanting to declutter. You're wanting to create space. You're probably drawn to wanting more light, more white space. That's because the mind cannot create in chaos. So it needs a blank slate. So subconsciously, it's actually saying to you, hey, I need you to clean this up so we can bring in something new. 3rd, you're noticing that friends and people that you spend time with, if they have not grown and evolved and are not in a space of change nor allowing themselves to change, they're wanting to stay where they are, you will no longer feel congruent in conversations. You're going to notice that the conversations that you're having aren't fulfilling, that you actually might feel like icky or stagnant, or you'll just notice when you're around them, you don't feel as fulfilled and you don't feel as called to text them back, call them back, or want to set up time with them. Again, this doesn't mean they're out of your life for good or that, oh my God, what are we doing? It just means that you're evolving. So we want to welcome in and say, great, I'm now calling in and attracting in people that vibrate on the same level as me, if not higher than me. I welcome them in, bring them into my life. I call them in, I align with them now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, what you will notice is that you will be called to different routines. Maybe you're noticing that you really need more of a morning routine or an evening routine, or you're wanting more time with your body or a spiritual practice to enhance. You want to be a yes to these things because this is your higher self coming in and calling you to a next level identity. And it's wanting to do it in a way that awakens you, that's gentle, that's feminine, that's loving, that's supportive. So you just want to be a yes to those nudges. And you will notice that your ego will say, when all of a sudden this nudge comes in and says, hey, we want to start going to bed earlier. And your ego is going to go, wait, but we always watch reruns right now. Or we are really into this series. And another voice in you is going to go, yeah, but like I don't actually like it that much and I'd rather just save it for the weekend, or I want to do it another time. Or there will be a voice in your head that will say, put the phone down, or pick up the phone and call this person that you haven't spoken to in a while. Or all of a sudden you're really drawn to a podcast or a book. Lean into these things. It is your next evolution. Instead of wanting to stick in our comfort zone, which is our thermostat setting, right? That's always set to a good 76. You're going to notice that you're being called to do things differently. Maybe you're being called to a new workout, or to sign up for a class that you haven't done before, or to buy that weighted vest. Be a yes to these things. Be a yes to the decluttering. Be a yes to cleaning up what's going on around you. That's when we are being called to a next level. Don't fear it. Be a yes to it and be excited by it. You're learning new ways. You're opening up to new things. So these are signs that you're in an identity rebirth, and you're also in an identity death. And that's so powerful because it means your next level evolution is there for you. And it's exciting. And you get to bring your partner and the people that you love along for the ride and invite them in. And you also get to covet this if you choose to be in a space of self-discovery. So we want to get out of gripping the old version of you and going, but wait, this isn't how I do things. This isn't, and just going, I'm open. I'm just going to breathe into this. I'm going to allow it. I'm just going to trust in it. I'm going to see how it feels for me. I'm going to get rid of some clothes. I'm going to notice that I'm wanting to maybe dress more. I want to elevate my style. Maybe I'm wanting more elegant look. Maybe I'm wanting to get rid of, like you go into your closet and you're like, why do I have things for clubbing? Like I haven't gone clubbing in like 20 years. It's time for them to go. And I'm going to trust that the universe abhors a vacuum, and where I create space, something new can grow, right? So we want to really look at what we're gripping. And I want you, and I'd love for you to share in the comments below, what are things that you're gripping? What old identities and aspects of yourself are you holding on to really tightly and you're afraid to let go of right now? What are those for you? I'd love to hear. Often I will find that with clients, it's, they're holding on to, often it's material items, it's clothes, it's like glory days, it's memory. You get to go like, what is it that you're wanting to feel from this? Like you haven't been worn those jeans in 10 years, but what do they represent to you? And could you create something new that you could actually feel into today, right? What are the habits of behavior that you're holding on to so tightly? Maybe it's staying up late and there's this part of you that's like, it's my only time for me. That's a story. It's a story, because you could also get up an hour earlier and have that time for you, right? Instead of being exhausted and just numbing out and looking at ways in which you're giving to yourself through scrolling on social or watching TV. There are other alternatives that you're being called to. So what are we gripping on so tightly, right? I know that I personally, I was gripping on to watching television during the week, and I was just noticing this is really getting in the way of like my growth and things that I want to create and who I'm wanting to be in the world. And it's not like I was watching like, oh my God, excessive amounts, but an hour a night, 30 minutes here, 45 minutes there. I'm like, I could be working on my book. I could be having a conversation with somebody that would really love to connect with, that would actually fulfill my heart in a better way than me watching somebody else or numb out through a story, or watching somebody else pursue their dream through reality TV, when I could actually work on my own, so that was something that I was releasing, and also getting myself to get up even earlier, because I do love the morning time. And I started to notice I kept pushing that back. And what you will see is everything that you're guided to, if you write down a list, and I would invite all of you to do this, to write down what are 5 things that I've been intuitively guided to in this last week. If you write them down, look at them, and then look at what you've been asking to become, what you've been maybe yearning for in your life, and you'll see that those things that your higher self are guiding you to are directly correlated to, if you did them, the thing that you're actually wanting would end up being inevitable and it would be there for you. And that's how you actually step into who you actually are, and we remove the limitations that are blocking us. This is why I have a membership called Limitless Academy, because we are actually limitless beings. And so this is an opportunity. If you're noticing this, this is your reinvention. So this is a rebirth. This is an exciting time. Lean into it. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What have you been being called to? What are those things that have been nudging you? And what signs have you noticed that you've been experiencing where you know that it's time for your old identity to go, because a new one is here for you and it's ready to grow? Let me know also here in this QR code up in the corner over here. I have our reinvention affirmations for you with an exact way that I share. I specialize in reprogramming the mind and identity shifting to support you in your next level reinvention, for your next level, so you can have it all. Because I believe all women are meant to have it all. We don't have to choose. And this is your time. Midlife is the main stage, baby. And we are just getting better and we are just getting started. So let's invite in that next chapter. And oh my God, these affirmations can help you do just that. And I show you how to do it in a way where it actually reprograms your subconscious mind while you're doing them, to really cement them into your subconscious so that you can experience them in your 3D, your conscious reality. All right, guys, I loved being here with you. Stay tuned for our next live happening Sunday at noon, where I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how a 4-step framework to reinvent yourself, what to expect, and exactly what to do to have your most powerful next season ever. I will see you then. All my love. Until then, bye.